for the news across the country.
From the nooks and crannies of this nation, OSBC brings you the news. News across the country.
Also, Governor meets charges APC stakeholders on unity. Court refuses to move Orji Kalu's trial to Lagos. Many abducted by terrorists in Niger community. Good evening and welcome to the news across the country. I am Olushayo Babatunde. Barely a week after the Osun governorship election 2022, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola today met with members and supporters of the ruling APC, the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. Governor Oyetola charged the APC members and supporters not to allow the outcome of the election cause dissatisfaction and division within the party, adding that the APC remains the ruling party in the state. He preached peace and unity among party leaders and members across all levels, from ward to local government to state. The governor also advised party members who have grievances to channel them to the appropriate quarters and stop expressing them publicly in the interest of the party. He noted that as governor of Osun, he will continue to govern with the fear of God and love of the people, just as he reiterated his commitment to the well-being of the people and development of the state. In the meantime, the Nigerian police say the delay experienced by some police officers who participated in the July 16 Osun governorship election in getting their allowances is caused by the affected officers' bank and not from the police. First Public Relations Officer CSP Olumoyiwa Adejobi said in a statement today in Abuja that payment of allowances to cover the election duty was disbursed directly into individual accounts from the PAB office and not through any state's police command. He claims that individuals have started receiving payments even before the commencement of the election, adding that the reports and the news on non-payment of election allowances as widely publicized is misleading and unfounded, hence should be disregarded. The National Vice Chairman Northwest of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Malam Solihu Lukman, has urged Nigerians not to see the choice of discrimination against any religion or ethnicity, but as a conscious effort taken to produce competent candidates. Malam Lukman made the call after a meeting of the Northwest APC leaders and stakeholders last night at the Katsina Governor's Lodge in Abuja. He said the contentious Muslim ticket was a tough decision for the party to make. The presidential candidate of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, a southern Muslim, had incurred the wrath of the Christians Association of Nigeria (CAN), some party members and political stakeholders when he announced the former governor of Borno State, Senator Kashim Shettima, a northern Muslim, as his running mate. Asiwaju Tinubu broke the news to journalists after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at his residence in Daura, Katsina State. Following the outrage that greeted his decision, Tinubu's men and campaign chiefs deployed diplomacy and political conversations in the media to assuage frayed nerves. The APC vice chairman, who posited that the situation was inevitable, believed that the situation of the APC went beyond the presentation of two Muslim candidates, expressed disappointment that critics of the party were not assessing the candidates in the light of competence and proven track record. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has dismissed the chances of the Labour Party LP and its presidential candidate, Dr. Peter Obi, in 2023 polls. Atiku, who spoke in an interview today, assured the Labour Party that they cannot eat into the traditional PDP strongholds as suggested. He said the just concluded Osun governorship election has shown that the Labour Party and Obi stand no chance at all in 2023. Atiku pointed out that 90% of 90 northern voters are not on social media and would not be assuaged by the noise from it. A 31-kilometer red line passengers rail service from Oyibo, Lagos State to Agbado in Ogun State is set to begin in the first quarter of 2023. Secretary to the Ogun State Government, SSG, Tokunbo Talabi, disclosed this during the signing of a memorandum of understanding on the rail project between Ogun and Lagos States. He said the project is another achievement in the series of developments engendered by the Lagos-Ogun Joint Commission, adding that it is another achievement from the robust understanding and synergy between the governors of the two states in taking advantage of their proximity to better their economies and the lives of their citizens. Speaking with Newsment after the signing of the MOU, the Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Frederick Oladende, said the 31-kilometer Red Line Rail project has a first phase of 25-kilometer stretch from Oyibo to Agbado, and it was already being constructed and to be completed by the end of this year, while passenger operations will start in the first quarter of next year. Ogun State Commissioner for Transportation, Benga Dairo, noted that the state government intended to launch on the initiative to extend train services beyond Agbado to other parts of the state, such as Ijoko, Kajola, among others. The area on the Kakanfo of Yoruba land, Iba Gani Adams and Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu have disagreed over the extent the Ondo State government had promoted cultural heritage for socio-economic development of the state. Iba Gani Adams alleged Ondo was the only state in the southwest not doing enough to promote the unique culture and tradition of its people, saying the neglect of culture and tradition of the people by the state government has affected the state in the southwest region. Speaking at an event, he urged traditional rulers in the state to step up their roles as custodian of Yoruba culture and tradition. However, Akeredolu, who was represented by Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora, Mr. Adeboye Ologbese, said the area on Kakanfo has not been following up on activities in the state. Governor Akeredolu said his administration was at the forefront of promoting Yoruba cultural heritage because he knew it would bring peace and development. The federal government has released the list of admissions into the 110 unity colleges across the country, including the Gifted Academy in Suleja, Niger State. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Press, Federal Ministry of Education, Benjamin Gong. It directed parents and pupils who applied for admission into any of the nation's unity colleges to check all the names of their awards on the ministry's website, www.education.gov.ng, or at the school they applied to. The statement added that limited vacancies still exist in some unity colleges across the country. Our Federal High Court in Abuja has refused the request for the transfer or the trial of former Abia Governor Senator Orji Kalu to the court's Lagos Division. The EFCC had applied to the court that the 7.1 billion naira money laundering charge against Kalu and two others be transferred to the Lagos Division of the court, in line with an earlier ruling of the Court of Appeal that Lagos was the proper forum for the trial of the case. In a ruling today, Justice Nyang Eko rejected the application by the EFCC on the grounds that only the courts, the Chief Judge, possesses the power to transfer such a case under Section 98 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACTA 2015. Justice Eko held that the prosecution had twice written the Chief Judge requesting for the transfer, and which request the Chief Judge declined. The judge noted that granting the request to transfer the case to Lagos would breach the provision of Section 235 of the 1999 Constitution and amount to a challenge of the finality and supremacy of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Justice Eko, who described the EFCC's application as an abuse of court process, ordered prosecution lawyer Rotimi Jacobs to show cause within 7 days why he should not be disqualified from further prosecuting the case. This is the news across the country coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Ile Awuje Okebale Osogbo, Voice of the West. Now I made this message. The Nigeria project can only be nurtured to success in an atmosphere free of rancor and acrimony, endeavor to promote peace in all ramifications. Members of the family of an Elisha-based fashion designer, Mr. Benga Adele, have called on the public on public-spirited individuals to come to the aid of the critically ill breadwinner of the family. Wife of the breadwinner reading man, Mrs. Bossede Adelaya, gave this indication while explaining the condition of her husband to OSBC News. Ms. Adelaya said the problem started with her husband about 2 months ago, when Mr. Gbenga Adelaya complained of severe rheumatism, adding that he was subsequently placed on drugs with no effect on him. Mrs. Adelaya quoted medical practitioners as saying that on thorough medical investigation, her husband is suffering from fracture at the femoral neck of his right rib, a critical condition that has hindered his movement and permanently putting him on hospital bed. She noted that it was the critical medical condition of Mr. Gbenga Adeleye, the only son of his parent, that sent his mother to early grave in Elisha, while the family have sold all their belongings, including the family property, to raise funds for his treatment. Any spirited individual who intends to assist Mr. Gbenga Samson Adeleye from Ejemos compound, Elisha West, who has been in serious pain and has been bedridden at the Wesley Gate Hospital, Elisha, should pay into Polaris Bank account number 01060 9612 or call GSM number 070 737 80541. I repeat, 070 780 541. Several persons have been abducted by terrorists in a midnight attack in Kuche community in Munya local area of Niger State. It was learned that the terrorists jumped the town during rainfall and launched a house-to-house search, fishing out the victims they wanted. The victims were sampled and ordered to move into the bush in the rain, with the terrorists directing them. There is no certainty of the number of people abducted as at the time of this report. There have been reports that some of the abductees have been trapped by the banks of the Dangunu River, which is overflowing due to the heavy rainfall that lasted over 10 hours across the state. Niger State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Wasiu Abiodun has not reacted to the incident. Fashion news today focuses on the public interpretation of low cut and tinted hair, now common among women folks despite the cultural values bind to it. OSBC fashion news reporter sought people's opinion on their perception of ladies that keep low cut and color tints. Olumide Gade is our guide.
For centuries, it has been a belief that a woman's hair is a crowning glory, but now women adorning different local styles have become a common fashion trend. The narrative for women and hair beauty has changed in recent times, as a number of them, especially black women, find low cut with color tints a stand out look. For various reasons, some women have embraced going on low cut for their convenience and damning the traditional or religious consequences. Women have very tight schedules daily and find it challenging to measure up with the task of maintaining long hair. For them, it's easier to go on a low haircut and then have it tinted in the color of choice to look radiant. OSBC fashion news reporter improvised to know the public interpretation of women on low cut and tinted hair in the society, regardless cultural values bind to it. Men and women gave their different perception of low cut and tinted hair in the society. In an interview with Miss Precious Ajiboye, she said being on low cut doesn't make ladies irresponsible as the society views it. She added that low cut and color tint is fashion.
Yeah, I love being on low cut, and the least I can spend is 1K. Yeah, 1K. That's the least I can spend. So instead of me going to the salon to make my hair for 5K, 6K, then I'd rather go to the salon to barb my hair, to have my hair on low cuts, because it saves my money. And me tinting my hair doesn't also mean I'm an irresponsible lady. It's my fashion choice. It's what I prefer to do. It's what I love to do.
In her own submission, Ms. Olaide Adegbenro maintained that being on low cut saves money and it is convenient rather than plaiting the hair. In addition, she said low cut shouldn't be seen as a senseless thing in a sane society.
Low cut is okay, though it depends on choice, because females are known to be plaiting their hair and guys are known to be barbing their hair. But nowadays, females choose to be on low cut because most of us feel is very easy and it's comfortable more than plaiting your hair, and it doesn't take much of our times, and we don't spend too much. And I can't say tinting your hair is senseless. No, it is not. All these things are by choice. If you are tinting your hair, it doesn't portray you as a bad child or somebody that is irresponsible. It's a choice.
According to Mr. Abiodun Aderemi, he said ladies being on low cut and color tints gives them a sense of beauty and that it saves their time.
The fact that girls make haircuts and they tint it to different colors, it's simply fashion. That's just it. It gives them a sense of beauty. To me, low cut and tinting hair is definitely fashion. It beautifies them.
Olamide Gade, OSBC News.
And now talking sports, Super Falcons striker Asisat Oshoala has emerged CAF Women's Best Player of the Year for a record 5th time. Adeyemi Abodera has the detail of this and more on Sports Update.
Former Super Falcons captain Asisat Oshoala on Thursday won a record 5th African Footballer of the Year award. The 27-year-old saw off oppositions from Cameroonian captain Ajara Njoya and newcomer Grace Chanda of Zambia in the women's category to become the Queen of African Football for the 5th time. The FC Barcelona feminine attacker becomes the first woman player to win the coveted award a record 5th time. She was initially tied to 4th with countrywoman Perpetua Nkocha. Oshoala won the Golden Boot of the Primera Division Femenina in Spain as her exploit helped the Femenino to win the league last season unbeaten. In the other awards, Senegalese superstar Sadio Mane retained his African Footballer of the Year crown, which he first won in January 2020. He defeated his national teammate Edouard Mendy as well as former holder Mohamed Salah to win the award. Meanwhile, ahead of tonight's third-place match against Chipolopolo of Zambia, Super Falcons and Leicester City of England player Ashley Plumtree has disclosed that the team has an uphill task to perform. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday, Plumtree said the players will approach the match as a final. Captain Onomi Ebi has been ruled out of the match with injury, while the duo of Rashidat Ajibade and Alimat Ayinde are also out on suspensions. The Super Falcons lost 5-4 via penalty shootout to Morocco in the semi-final after the match had ended 1-1 in both regulation and extra time. In the meantime, Rivers United players and officials have been heavily rewarded for their heroic efforts in winning the Nigerian Professional Football League by the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. The Paracourt-based club won the state's first ever MPFL title with a record 77 points this season after many failed attempts. For this bravery act, the governor thus rewarded the players with a cash prize of $20,000 each. He also announced that the club will camp in Madrid, Spain for 2 weeks in preparation for the 2022-2023 CAF Champions League campaign. He also conferred on each member of the team the Governor's Merit Service Award. Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro is expected to sign a contract extension in the coming days. Peseiro was announced as Super Eagles substantive head coach in May following the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The Portuguese tactician penned a 1-year contract with the Nigerian Football Federation. With the postponement of the 2023 African Cup of Nations from June next year to January 2024, the NFF will open talks on an extension with Peseiro until after the African Cup of Nations finals in Cote d'Ivoire. The competition was postponed by the Confederation of African Football (CAF) due to the unfavorable weather conditions experienced in Cote d'Ivoire during the summer. The Super Eagles won their opening 2 games in the qualifiers against Sierra Leone and Sao Tome and Principe. Peseiro's charges will take on Guinea-Bissau in a double-header in September. Sport Update returns tomorrow. My name is Adeyemi Abodere.
And now to end the news across the country, here again are the major points. Barely a week after the Osun 2022 gubernatorial election, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola has met with members and supporters of the ruling APC, where he urged them not to be deterred by the outcome of the poll, but to form a common front and move on. A federal high court in Abuja has refused the request for the transfer of the trial of former Abia State Governor Senator Orji Kalu to the courts in Lagos Division. Several persons have been abducted by terrorists in a midnight attack in Kochi community in Munya local government area of Niger State. And that was the news across the country, put together by Latif Agola and delivered by Olushayo Babatunde. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
It's entertaining, it's educating, really informative, qualitative news as it breaks. It's OSBC Radio 2, 104.5 FM. Numero uno south of the Sahara, voice of the West.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa rahmatullahi. Ọmọ Mẹ́dínà. Mo kí yín gbogbo èèyàn pátápátá. Àwọn tí wọ́n jọ lólùfẹ́ orin tiwa. Ìkẹ́ Ọlọ́run mi àtọ́lá tó kún kẹ́kẹ́. Àlàáfíà tó pọ̀ àtòrè tuntun. Iṣẹ́ tẹ̀ ń ṣe máa díṣẹ́ ní mo tọrọ. Èyí làdúrà tí mo fẹ́ ṣe fún gbogbo olólùfẹ́ ìrẹsàn láti pátápátá.
èròyà àkọ́tún ètò ìròyìn yóò tún máa gorí àtẹ ní kété tí aago 6 bá ti gbẹnu léra lówùúrọ̀ ọjọ́ ìsinmi nígbà tí àwọn atọ́kùn yóò máa ṣíde ètò pẹ̀lú ẹ̀fẹ̀ àti àwàdà tó ṣe é mú ṣọgbọ́n ní abala àlejò wa Alhaji Dr. Mustapha Adeleke Ọláwuyì ààrẹ àjọ àwọn mùsùlùmí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun bọ̀ wá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìjírà 1444 àwọn abala bíi èdè àyàn eléré wa ayé ọ̀dọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ eré ìdárayá náà kò ní tẹ́tì lórí ètò ẹ lè kọ̀wé ṣe ìbéèrè ránṣẹ́ sí olóòtú ètò ìròyìn nílé àwíyé ó pẹ́ tán alẹ́ sátidé tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè sórí aago nígbà tí ètò bá ń lọ lọ́wọ́ èròyà ọba àwọn ètò ẹ tẹ́tí lẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
Ọmọlábí adùn. Ó yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Àdúrà ló yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Àní kí ló yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Àdúrà ló yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Kẹ́yìn máa yàn kú o. Káwa máa ṣàìsàn. Kẹ́yìn máa yàn kú o. Káwa máa ṣàìsàn. Kọ́pọlọ yín má dàrú o. Káwa máa gòkè jẹ. Kọ́pọlọ yín má dàrú o. Káwa máa gòkè jẹ. Kẹ́yìn má ṣẹ̀sín o. Káwa máa máa mọ̀ sí. Àní kẹ́yìn má ṣẹ̀sín o. Káwa máa máa mọ̀ sí. Gbogbo nǹkan tá ń torí ẹ̀ yọ̀ yìí. Kó má ṣe yọ̀ wá ṣubú o. Ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀rọ ń wèrè. Gbogbo nǹkan tá ń torí ẹ̀ yọ̀ yìí. Kó má ṣe yọ̀ wá ṣubú o. Àní mo ní kí ló yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Àdúrà ló yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Mo ní kí ló yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Àdúrà ló yẹ ká fi ṣèkóná ara wa. Ẹ sàmì káyé má pa yín o. Káwa máa pààyàn. Aráyé má ṣì ní pa. Káwa máa pààyàn. Sọ wípé kí wọ́n má pa mí o. Káwa máa pààyàn. Aráyé má sì ní pa. Káwa máa pààyàn. Kẹ́yìn má má dáràn o. Káwa má dèrò ẹ̀wọ̀n. Àmì kẹ́yìn má má dáràn o. Káwa má dèrò ẹ̀wọ̀n. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń dùn mọ́ wa lónìí. Kó má padà wá dùn wá gbẹ̀yìn. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń dùn mọ́ wa lónìí. Kó má padà wá dùn wá gbẹ̀yìn. Èrè àsálà tuntun ti gbọ́nà mìíràn dé o. Ọmọ Mẹ́dínà tún ti gbọ́nà mìíràn yọ. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo ẹni tó bá bá wa jòlù yìí o. Yóò gbà ládàá. Wàhálà yóò gbà ládàá tó pọ̀. Ọ̀gá ni pé tuntun dé o. Èrè àsálà tuntun ti gbọ́nà mìíràn dé o. ọmọ mẹ́dínà tó ti gbámọ mìíràn yọ àní gbogbo ẹni tó bá wa jolú yìí sẹ́. yóò gbà ládàá wàhálà yóò gbà ládàá tó pọ̀. yóò gbà ládàá. torí gbogbo táwa bá ṣe nítorí ànábì ni. yóò gbà ládàá wàhálà yóò gbà ládàá tó pọ̀. àní gbogbo táwa bá ṣe nítorí ànábì ni. yóò gbà ládàá wàhálà yóò gbà ládàá tó pọ̀. ẹ̀rù iná bó lówó bájò. owó wọn á tún máa pọ̀ sí. bó lówó bájò. owó wọn á tún máa pọ̀ sí. bó ṣọlọ́lá lójó. ọlá wọn á tún máa pọ̀ sí. ó bá ṣọlọ́lá lójó. ọlá wọn á tún máa pọ̀ sí. tó bá ṣo ní mímọ́ lójó. ìmọ̀ wọn á tún máa pọ̀ sí. ojó ní mímọ́ lójó. ìmọ̀ wọn á tún máa pọ̀ sí. ẹ ò rí bó jẹ́ tó bá ti joyè ló bá wa jolú yìí o. yóò gbà ládàá wàhálà yóò gbà ládàá tó pọ̀. ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè gómìnà tó bá wa jólù yìí sẹ́. yóò gbà ládàá wàhálà yóò gbà ládàá tó pọ̀. ọ̀gá mi bó bá jẹ́ mi kọ́. Arif Kisala, Arif Kisala, Arif Kisala, Arif Kisala. Asukutu salam, asukutu salam, asukutu salam, asukutu salam. Asukutu salam. Jẹjẹjẹjẹjẹjẹ ló láyé. Jẹjẹjẹjẹjẹjẹ ló láyé. Kéèyàn lè lò gbà yí pẹ́. Jẹjẹjẹjẹ ló láyé. Kéèyàn lè lò gbà yí pẹ́. Jẹjẹjẹjẹ ló láyé. Àyíwá náà. Ẹ kìlọ̀ fẹ́ ní sáyé yẹ pé kó rọra ṣe. Ẹ kìlọ̀ fẹ́ ní tí gbàǹdò fún kó ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Ẹ kìlọ̀ fẹ́ ní táyé yẹ pé kó rọra ṣe. Ẹ kìlọ̀ fẹ́ ní tí gbàǹdò fún kó ṣe jẹ́jẹ́. Alágẹmọ tó ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́ ayé ń dá lóró. Bèlè ń dá sí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ jọra rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ kiri. Alágẹmọ tó ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́ ayé ń dá lóró. Bèlè ń dá sí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ jọra rẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ kiri. Arif Kisala, Arif Kisala. Asukutu salam, asukutu salam, asukutu salam, asukutu salam. Abèrè ọ̀nà kì í ṣìnà. Abèrè ọ̀nà kì í ṣìnà. Tí o bá ti béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìka ènìyàn. Tí o bá ti béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìka ènìyàn. Gbogbo afọ̀rọ̀lágbà kì í ṣìwàwù o. Àwọn afọ̀rọ̀lágbà kì í ṣìwàwù o. Táwọn bá ti fọ̀rọ̀ làwọn àgbà òṣìkà. Táwọn bá ti fọ̀rọ̀ làwọn àgbà òṣìkà. Yasalam. Gbogbo ẹni bá ṣe jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́ o. Wọ́n kì í máa ń kábàámọ̀ láyé. Ẹ sọ fún gbogbo ẹni bá ṣe jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́ o. Kí ni mo wí? Wọ́n kì í máa ń kábàámọ̀ láyé. Orí wọn á ronú jinlẹ̀ gidi wọ́n tún fọ̀rọ̀. Kí wọ́n tó lè ṣohun kó. Àní wọn á ronú jinlẹ̀ gidi wọ́n tún fọ̀rọ̀. Kí wọ́n tó lè ṣohun kó. Mo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ń gbọ́rọ̀ mi o. Gbogbo ẹni bá ṣe jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́ o. Wọ́n kì í máa ń kábàámọ̀ láyé. Gbogbo ẹni bá ṣe jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́.